Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Man, I hope that everybody is having a fabulous Tuesday and whatever it is you set out to do today, you were successful or halfway successful, or you know what, you just had good intentions. Today's Tuesday. We don't really have a theme. I happened upon something this morning. I was actually watching the Olympics, man, and I've seen so many things about professional athletes as of late having issues trying to address really, they better themselves, mental health issues, wellness, if you will. And I have been following the story of one Simone Biles, who is, of course, greatest of all time gymnast. It's not going to get any better. I mean, she was an amazing person, but she came across some situations where even she said, I have to back away. All of a sudden, brothers and sisters, there was a whole lot of things about, oh my gosh, she's this, she's that. And we forget that these people are human. That an immense amount of pressure is placed on these folks because of what they can do, a special set of skills, an elite set of skills, on and on, whatever you have. But a lot of times, we tend to forget that these people come from places and come from situations that are just like us. And as I began to watch more and more and more about Simone Biles, her history, it began to, I want to say, it began to really clear up a lot of how we see these people in society, but also how we don't see ourselves. How we put the mantra on of superhero or superhero S, and we put capes on and S's across the chest because the sports is something that they really are really, really good at. What we don't celebrate is what people able to do over a long period of time with a long period of consistency. And we don't really value that. Now, this is not some weird thing into, against sports or anything. That is not that, brothers and sisters. What Simone Biles gave us was all of us, I want to say a wake up call that we all sometimes need a checkup from the neck up. You know, we only a half step away from a devastating event that could really hurt us emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. Um, I'm thinking these things are really, really important. And what are the message that we send to our children? That when somebody's hurting, whether physically or emotionally, spiritually, what message are we sending to our children that so and so is a quitter, that so and so can't hack it? That and I began to look at this thing, and really, brothers and sisters, began to look at some of our sports heroes that we don't talk about, who went through the exact same things. But with the age of social media, everything is under, of course, everything's micromanaged. We look at people in every aspect of their lives, and not in a good way in some regards. In some regards, I like to take a very liberal 10,000 view of somebody's life as opposed to, a 1,000 foot view. I don't want to see all the nooks and crannies sometimes. And it's not because I don't want to know. I just want to respect your privacy. I want to take that one thing that's good about a person and just celebrate that. I want to take that one thing that that person celebrates and celebrate with them. Maybe we can deconstruct how we do hero worship, but maybe we can deconstruct, the idea that we are looking for heroes, not understanding that part of being a hero is being able to do something over and over and over and over again, minus credit, minus pay, minus notoriety. You know what? The scope of, just like in the Quran, the idea of the seen and the unseen. Do you do it in the unseen the way you do it in the seen? Does that matter to you? Is that a value statement? And I'm saying, brothers and sisters, it needs to be. It needs to be because we celebrate sports heroes. But you've heard me talk about my education heroes, and you talk about my civil rights heroes, and I've listened to you talk about your heroes. You know, my heroes are the people that just say, you know what? Out of 9 times it didn't work, but I'm willing to give it the same effort the 10th time. And maybe the 10th time it works. Maybe the 10th time it doesn't work. But I have much respect. I have mad respect for the people that get up and do it every day. And what the people didn't realize about Simone Biles, and we'll talk about this once we start the show, is that, brother and sister, she's been getting up and doing this every day of her life since she was a little kid. So I want to give a salute to Simone Biles. Congratulations on your bronze medal. You didn't even have to do it, sister, but you did it. And I want to give a shout out to some of the people in the neighborhood. You didn't do it, you have to do it. Shout out to the parents. You could have quit. You could have been selfish. Shout out to the kids that go out here and do volunteer work. Shout out to the people working the masses and the churches and the mosque and the synagogues that get out there. And despite all the politicization around religious practices, they've held true to the core that you serve the people. We're going to have some fun here on the next 30 minutes on Preacher Monsters Shout Out Show. Let's get it started. And we're back, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna keep the show tight today. I'm gonna follow the old black man rule of the three B's, which is be brief, brother. I'm trying not to go over today, and I want to make sure I discipline myself. I know I've been going over the last couple of days. Please forgive me. Quick note: if you're coming on the show for the first time, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Uh, just a small note: if you want to have something to say, you want to share your point of view, get in the comment section, and Sister Satana will throw you on the screen. We will acknowledge you. We also say keep it classy, keep it smart, and keep it classy. But jump on in the comment section, and we're going to make sure that you get, of course, your shout out. Now, I don't think we have anybody new, but I'm going to throw. I'm going to extend the shout out show family to brother Eric Carter, who's been on here several times. So, Eric, you are officially part of the shout out show family, my brother. All right. I've seen you about 4 times, so I'm gonna make you a member of the shout out show family, shout out show soldiers. While Lake Masalan Rahmatullah Barakatuh. Welcome to the family, my brother. All right. We're gonna give a shout out to Sister Ree. Sister Ree has a pretty big announcement. I hope I'm not tipping her hand, but Sister Ree will be taking her culinary skills and arts, and you guessed it, she will be starting a business. She is opening up her own boutique of fine food, soul food, and hopefully some vegan soul food, some low fat food, low salt food for your brother Preacher Moss. And she will be leaning on us, of course, for support, prayers. And I'm gonna put a couple dollars behind this. I hope maybe if you guys are interested, we'll have a little section and she'll tell us about what her restaurant is, what she's trying to do with a restaurant, and of course, you know what she may need, brothers and sisters. I know we talk about money, so what other things she may need is just advice. So we're gonna give Sister Reed some advice. All right. Congratulations, Reed. We appreciate you. All right. Well, alaikum assalam rahmatullahi barakatuh to my main man, Altar Rashid. If you don't know him, the problem is you. I'm just kidding. If you don't know, he is considered a special envoy from Canada. He's a U.S. He's a Canadian ambassador to the Shout Out Show. He has been so for quite a long time, and we appreciate you, Altar. Great comments yesterday too, as we were talking about historically black colleges, universities. I hope some of you got to check out that podcast. It was a very detailed podcast. I hope I did it some kind of justice yesterday. I know I was under the gun. I was a little nervous. I'm gonna be honest with you. My mom and my aunt both attended Howard University, which are classic HBCU. So shout out to them as well. All right. Next up, my brother, black man, my brother. That's JT Johnny L. Thomas. To you, JT, thanks so much for coming on the show. Why alaikum assalam rahmatullah barakatuh. Thank you for that text that you sent me about that scholar. He's a big scholar on Marcus Garvey. So I'm actually gonna maybe do something with him on the show, inshallah. One of our scholars passed away. I'm getting so bad with names, brothers and sisters. So please forgive me. Let's see here. The brother's name, hold on a minute. Keep him in your prayers. He just passed away. Dr. Renuko Rashidi. Dr. Renuko Rashidi, scholar. A lot of his information had to do with, of course, Black liberation movements. So you might want to check that out. Thank you so much for letting me know, Jay. Appreciate you. Next up, Reed's thanking appreciation, prayers, and du'as are on the way. Hope you're feeling well, Sister Reed, because you know you got to be well and stay in business. All right, next up, and we got our consultant producer. That would be none other than Satana Whitfield, handling the wheels and twos and the ones and twos on the production side of the game. And I think it's really important that, she's working and branching out and doing some production stuff with the Permissible Laughter Media brand. We've been very excited about that. So we'll be talking more about Permissible Laughter Media, which actually helps produce the Shout Out Show. Let's go and get to this. Our subject title is the Olympics, Simone Biles, and Secondhand Smoke. That's the Olympics, Simone Biles, and Secondhand Smoke. I will tell you why these things matter. The Olympics, Simone Biles, and Secondhand Smoke. I'm going to tell you the reason why I came up with this title is because it has so much to do about not just wellness, but the awareness of wellness. Not so much wellness, which is important, but the awareness of wellness, the ideology that you're supposed to be pursuing things in your environment that bring you good health, preventive maintenance about your health, spiritual well-being, that we need to make sure that we prioritize these things. One of the things that happened in the Olympics is that people didn't realize that, guess what? Olympians under a great amount of pressure, a great amount of expectation. That you dedicate yourself to something to be the best at it, not only to be the best at it in your country, in your region, but on a world stage to challenge other people who've made like-minded commitments to be the best at it. And you bring them all to this marketplace called the Olympics. That's a lot of pressure. I think the only thing that would be akin to it if there was a comedy contest and the guys in the first round were Dave Chappelle, Dick Gregory, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Moms Mabley. Do I need to keep going? These are the people in the first round you got to get through. People like that, and you go, I can't compete. And of course, you can compete, brothers and sisters. But it's not even about competing; it's about winning, because the Olympics holds so much potential for those who win, particularly gold medal. Think about it: gold, silver, bronze, first, second, third. Now, in any other situation, brothers and sisters, in any other situation in life, I mean, meaningful application of life and I'd say contribution, execution, the ability to do something. Those are zero sum. Those are not zero sum arguments. But in the Olympics, there are zero sum because they only give out one gold, they only give out one silver, they only give out one bronze. Now, that's the scope of competition. As you take competition and place it against life, sometimes the lines get blurred. For any of us that played organized sports, if you're not number one, you're not nothing. If you don't come in first, you didn't come in. Second and third is for suckers. We don't want trophies for participation. We want to win. Okay, that's the old norm. Really, they tried to change it, but these days, brothers and sisters, I wonder why they tried to change. And the fact is that we put so much pressure on. You know, when I played sports, like a lot of people my age, when we played sports, you didn't have specialized teams. You didn't specialize in sports, right? So if you played football or soccer in the fall, then you played track or baseball or tennis in the spring. And in the wintertime, we all played basketball. You see what I'm saying? We never specialized. You know, on my high school letterman jacket, I had 2 sports. I had a friend, he had 3 sports on his jacket. He played 3 sports a year. We did so. And we never specialized. What we specialize in, how could we get better in our particular team sport? How can we make the team better? And we thought we can make the team better. We can make our individual competition, individual contributions better. And I was sitting around this morning watching the Olympics. Of all things, I don't know why I'm watching this, brothers and sisters. I'm watching the damn pole vaulting. I'm putting myself out there. I'm watching the pole vaulting. And the reason I'm watching the pole vaulting is there was this young man, I think he was from Sweden. Can't remember his name. But every time he would put that pole vault and he would go over the bar, it seemed like he was so far over the bar, he couldn't miss. In his first 5 rounds or 6 rounds, he didn't miss. He got to 6.09 or 6.02 meters, the bar, and he was still clearing the thing. And he had a little competition from the American kid, but I'm looking at the American kid, I'm like, you ain't gonna make it. This boy's bad. And he keeps telling the crowd, this Swedish guy keeps telling the crowd, be quiet because I could do more. And there was drama there. There was pageantry. And of course, the American tried to do 6'2" and he couldn't do it. He failed miserably. And then the Swedish kid made 6'2", and then he said, no, I got the goal. I'm going for the world record. And let me tell you something. In the quiet room where I watch television and have my thoughts and rest, I was excited like he could do it. He could do something we have never seen before, and I'm going to be a part of it. I'm going to be privy to it. And you know what, brothers and sisters? He took that pole vault and he jumped and he cleared it and his chest hit the bar and the bar fell off. And I said, damn, I done wasted all my time with this loser. And then he tried it again. I said, come on. And he didn't make it. Then he tried it again and he didn't make it. And I said, stop for the Lord. See how folks are. When he was winning, I was with him. When I thought he could do something extraordinary, I was hyped up. He could do it. And when his chest hit the bar, I was just like every other hater. I knew he wasn't going to do it. And I laughed at myself the way I'm laughing now. Because the idea was I wanted him to do it. I wanted him to have that personal achievement. I wanted him to be the best he could be in this situation. Forget the record. He already won the gold. I was enthusiastic because he said, I'm going to do something more. I'm not going to stop. His deliberate practice had driven him that he thought he could do it, and doggone it, I was going to watch whether he cleared the bar, he didn't clear the bar. Now, on the flip, with Simone Biles, I've watched this younger woman, this young lady, evolve from a line of black gymnasts, Dominique Dawes and now Simone Biles. I don't know if you guys remember Dominique Dawes, but she was a beast. I mean, she could roll. And I watched Simone Biles get better and better and better and better. And we cheered her. I cheered her because I did some homework, like most of you. We knew that she had a tough upbringing, very tough upbringing in terms of parents and families and things like that. And then across the wire is just this ticker tape, this breaking news that she's not going to be participating in some of the floor events. And people are like, oh my gosh. And the sad part was, while I laugh about that pole vaulter, I was concerned because I said it must be something strong, something really devastating, or something that's a huge blessing for this woman, that she's not going to participate because she's putting herself first. Because she's putting herself first. Because the pressure is to let everybody around you influence you to do something that, by all means, in the end, it could hurt you further. And so I applauded Simone Biles. I didn't know what was going on. She said, it was issues of mental health. The same with Naomi Osaka, one of this young, talented, promising tennis player who said she had always dealt with anxiety and some issues of depression. And I'm like, you know what? I'm listening to the children. I'm listening to the children because you know what? When I was that age, we played sports. They said there's no crying in sports. When you lost, you shook a hand and you go somewhere. And we never were able to fully absorb our emotions, our feelings, because they were tied up in the sports. But tied up so much in the sports whereby we lost ourselves as kids. We lost ourselves as children because we had expectations put on us at a very young age. And I don't want to say the parents put expectations on us. They did, but we put expectations on ourselves. And we made the sport the noun instead of the verb. So instead of Simone Biles, the gymnast, we said, she's a gymnast as opposed to she does gymnastics. She's a human being. She does the pole vault. She's a young lady. She does the pole vault. She's a creation of God. We forget all of that. And we go, did she get a gold, a silver, or a bronze? Now, when I look at this as well, it's a cautionary tale. And the cautionary tale of Simone Biles is this one. And we should all pay attention, double attention. There's not a lot of degrees of separation between ourselves and Simone Biles. We work just as hard, we work just as long. Many of us were never able to specialize in a special thing, whether it's sports or talent or anything like that. I often tell young comedians when they want to be comedians, say, well, here's the deal. Why you're on this thing of being a star, do you have another job? Because you're gonna have to eat before get your comedy special. And you hear stories of football players, professional football players who are out of the league and they got their break because a quarterback got hurt. And when they tried to find this quarterback who'd been out of the league, he was working at a grocery store collecting carts. His name's Kurt Warner. He won a Super Bowl with the St. Louis Rams. And the thing that I remember is that he said something that reminded me about Simone Biles. Is that creatively, all of us, whether you play sports, or whether you're a comedian, whether you're a librarian, all of us have to establish what is our bottom row, right? That last one or two rungs that are supposed to catch us when we have these issues. I want to say controversies or issues and things like that. Where are we willing to say the buck stops here? And so I celebrate Simone Biles because at the epiphany, the zenith of her sport, she said no. Are you aware of how much money she would have made if she had just gone out there and lost? If she just gone out there and betrayed her feelings and lost and maybe came in first, second, third, whatever. She's already set. But the thing I caught in her voice was, despite everything, and she came out and she competed on the world stage and got a bronze medal. She still felt a love and affinity for the Olympics and representing her country. And what we won't know is the things that she said to the other girls on the gymnastics team to inspire, because other girls got gold, other girls got silver. And we'll underplay the fact that Simone Biles, while she was dealing with her own thing, still remained a team player. And when I say still remained a team player, that is what I'm talking about. Because sports is about community. So I'm going to put this one out here and let us marinate about it. So I'm going to flip this thing, brothers and sisters, because the title is Olympics, Simone Biles, and Secondhand Smoke. I chose Secondhand Smoke because fellow comedian Kathy Griffin recently went on social media and revealed to everybody that she has lung cancer, right? She has lung cancer. And she says, I've never smoked before. What's significant is that she had shaved her head in support of her sister who had been diagnosed with cancer. Hear me now. She had shaved her head in support of her sister who was fighting cancer, only to find out that she was in stage 1 lung cancer. And she said, I've never smoked before. Environment. So I'm going to tell you at some point in time during Kathy Griffin's career, as she ascended to where she is, she worked at a dark, dank comedy club, a room or hall, back in the 80s, into the 90s, probably mid 80s, early 80s, into the 90s, when they allowed smoking, where you would sit on a stage and tell jokes to people who drank and smoked excessively. The plumes of smoke were so thick you could not even see the audiences in some places because the clubs were so small. And it was considered a part of the environment. And now you have a woman who says, I have lung cancer. I've never smoked before. Here's the correlation between her, Simone Biles, and us. It is the idea that even with the best of prevention, even ideally the strongest of wellness, we still, in some regards, will succumb to our environment. The choices of others, brothers and sisters, the choices of others. For Simone Biles, brothers and sisters, it is, do you get on that vault knowing that your mind isn't in the right place? Do you get on the rings knowing that you could hurt yourself? Do you do the dance knowing that flipping you could hurt yourself? It's a dangerous sport. To Kathy Griffin, for all the aspirations she had to be a comedian and be a celebrity, and she told jokes and she paid her dues, did she ever really think I'm going to have lung cancer? As I told jokes and I did the craft that I love and I entertained people. You see where I'm going with this, brothers and sisters? In the Olympics, it was naysayers who spoke negatively about Simone Biles. That's environment. For Kathy Griffin, it is, I want this dream so bad. I am putting myself in danger with other people's decisions to smoke. Fortunately, alhamdulillah, these days you go to a comedy club, it's no smoking. Still got drinking, no smoking. I can honestly say that sadly, if the same thing came to me as it did to Kathy Griffin, that somehow I had lung cancer, some type of cancer, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm going to sit and think about all of the clubs that I worked, all the venues that I worked, all the smoke that I inhale, and I'm going to look at you and go, I'm not surprised. Ironically, when I watched her Instagram, she was not surprised because these are the choices we make when we want to pursue our dreams. So, in the wrap up, brothers and sisters, we talked about Simone Biles and why I think that she is a hero and someone we should pay closer attention to. Her heroism is not going to be for what she did during the Olympics, but what she didn't do. She remained true to herself. And for Kathy Griffin, who I've never met, I've never met her before. She symbolizes a type of faith that, you know, she's a celebrity, but I can think of so many other comedians and artists and jazz artists who may get the same diagnosis. We won't know anything about them. And so in the space, in those things, I think the best advice that I can offer is that we pray for all of them. And that we also pray for ourselves. That we're able to do the things we love, the things we need to do. Sometimes we sacrifice for your kids, your wives, your husbands, and things like that. And you will, in some regards, you will jeopardize your wellness. But you call it sacrifice. It happens. I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm here to talk about is if you got to do it, brothers and sisters, celebrate it. And when you finish that task, celebrate it by looking at your own wellness. All right. So that's our show. Let me wrap up. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Breaking the debt of slavery, brothers and sisters. Breaking the slavery or debt, the debt of slavery, one of the two. I keep getting them mixed up. Call 1-800-1-888-496-6845. Again, that's 1-888-496-6845. Call. We have a Harvard, we have a Howard University law grad on the other side of that's Miss Maxine K. Esquire. Give her a ring. All right, that's number one. Number two, Bayan Islamic Graduate School. If you're thinking of getting a quality Islamic graduate education at the graduate level or doctorate level, they got all kinds of programs. The number one program for the Masters of Divinity and Chaplaincy for Muslim chaplaincy. It's the only program that's here in the United States, probably around the world. So you might want to check that out as well. Great instructors, world class instructors. Give it a call. Give it a look. Go to banonline.org. Again, that's banonline.org. Brothers and sisters, that's our show. You've been great. I've been Preacher Moss. That's it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, see you tomorrow. Yo, assalamu alaikum. I'm Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire, but I like to add a new title to my name. I'm Professor Preacher Moss. You know why? Because I just graduated. Wait a minute. Let me get this out of here. This is it. Okay. I'm Professor Preacher Moss, and it's come through the courtesy and the blessing of the Muhammad Ali Scholarship, which came through Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Now, listen, I know a lot of you people are thinking, can I do it? Yes, you can do it. This is the part where I'm supposed to say it's easy. It's not easy. Listen, it was easy to get this degree. Trump would be a mufti. I digress. Listen, though, for you brothers and sisters that are interested, go to bayononline.org, and you could be like me. Put yourself in the picture for Islamic education. Wait a minute, there's a picture right there. Sound like them, everybody. Take care. Preach them off.